What is up? How are you guys doing today? If you don't know who I am, my name is Brandon Jones and I specialize in helping you make an extra income. I've been an entrepreneur for around 10 years, okay? Ever since 2014. I originally graduated from high school in New Jersey. I moved to Philly because my mom gave me two options: go to college or move out. I had those two options and I took the one that I felt was best for me. And I'm not gonna lie, some days I wonder if it was best for me. I think a lot of us, we seem to feel overwhelmed at times, and we mirror our success to others that we see on social media. And I wanted to bring this video because I am going through a similar situation that I think a lot of people are. I do have a community. It's called the Hustlers Reselling Community, and I am somebody that helps and mentors all of my students. I phone flip, I resell. I am very, very well versed when it comes to both aspects. I've made a lot of money doing both, but I want to talk more so today about support. Because there's a lot of people out there that are lacking the support they feel they need. And let's make this clear, a lot of us, we need support. Like, that's something we use as a motivational tool, right? Like, we want that type of motivation that makes us want to keep going. And we seek that in our family a lot. I came from a household where I didn't have my father, and I think that's one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. Not because I'm angry at the guy, I'm not. If I could, I would definitely prefer him to be in my life. I would never forget, and I'll tell you guys this small short story. One time when I first moved to Philly, my dad always lived in Philadelphia. I would see him every once in a while between the ages of like 1 to like 5. But it would be sporadic. So when I first moved back to Philly, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just know I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to start my own business, and I wanted to reconnect with my dad because I wanted some type of siblings out here. I wanted some type of support. I went and I told my mom, "Hey mom, I'm thinking about connecting with my father. Do you have any way for me to get in contact with him?" And she said, "Yes, I do. Yes, I do." If y'all hear any noise, it's my dog, Hustle. But she said, "Yeah, I do." So she ended up getting his number. I end up calling him. So when I call him, tell me how he lives right across the street from me. So I said, wow, like, I called him, I just skipped. I called him and then another guy answered. No, I got the voicemail, and then my mom texted me an address, actually. You gotta do this right when I'm doing my video. So my mom texted me an address. I go to the address and a guy opens the door. The guy that opens the door, I say, "Hey, is such and such here?" He says, "No, that's my brother. Who are you?" I said, "I'm his child," which would make him my uncle, right? And he's like, "Oh yeah, he works during the nighttime, so he usually is asleep or he comes home, a little bit late." So I'm like, okay. Long story short, I give him my number. I'm saying, "Can you just tell my dad to give me a call?" I'm hype at this point. So I'm like, yo, I'm about to meet my dad. So he ends up calling me. And when he calls me, I'll never forget, we had this great conversation. I let him know, "Hey man, you have a grandchild." I let him know all about my aspirations and my goals. And I had car problems at the time, and he was a mechanic, so I was telling him about my car problems. I'm like, oh snap, like I'm having a conversation with my father. And then what happened was he was like, "Yeah, I gotta go to sleep because, I gotta work soon." I was like, okay. So then he said, "Give me a call tomorrow." So we hang up. I'm excited, I'm hyped. I'm like, oh, I saved his number as under dad and everything. And the next day I went to go give him a call and I was blocked, And I tell you guys that story not to feel sad or sorry for me. Please don't, because it turned me into a beast. I'm gonna explain to you how. But I'm telling you this because it's crazy how a lot of us, whether you don't have a dad or a mother, we thrive for that connection. And I think somewhere inside of us is always something trying to connect with them. But also, there's a beauty in it, because when he blocked my phone, well, when he blocked my number, and I know he blocked it because I tried to call, and then it would just go to voicemail, but when I tried to call from like my grandmother's house phone, it went and started ringing. Now, why didn't I call him and ask him why you blocked me? Because I was furious at that moment, and I think that moment put fire under me, and I started to think, you know, you're running away from me and I'm running towards you, but I don't want to chase anything that doesn't want me, right? I don't want to be tolerated. I don't want to force myself on you. I'm not asking for money or anything, you know? So that really hurt me, but also really motivated me. So that's one reason why, you know, I started to actually hit the streets in Philly and start to try and talk to a whole bunch of, I made a list of 100 people that I wanted to actually talk to from Instagram that I saw in Philly. And I talked to every single one of them. And nothing came out of it. Nothing at all, because I didn't have any money to pay the photographer, because I wanted to start a modeling agency. So I didn't have any money to pay the photographers or the models that I was hitting them up. I wanted them to actually work for free, and I wanted them to believe in my dream, and no one did, right? But I made this list of 100 people. I sat in basements. I sat in like the hood, on streets that I didn't belong. Like, I sat in places literally pitching. I had a business plan, and I would go to everyone on this page with this business plan. Hey, guy, so listen, I want you to be a photographer, a part of my it's called Next Level Productions. I want you to be a part of this. Yes, you'll be actually taking pictures of these models. These models will pay a membership, a monthly membership. I'll cut you in X amount of percentage and da-da-da-da. And they would be like, yeah, I'm with it. But when it came time to actually do it, nobody answered my calls. But me not having my dad and seeing how bad he rejected me, it fueled me to actually wanting to show him that I'm somebody. Now, let me tell you one more example. My mother, during high school, I was bad as hell. And I think I was bad because I was still trying to figure out how to become a man. And, you know, I was chasing girls and not really paying attention to school. I wasn't a great student. I didn't have great grades. I didn't excel in much but gym and basketball, obviously. So school was just school, right? It was just something I forced myself to do. And my mother punished me in a really unique way. She used to kick me out, right? So if I was bad and I had bad grades, I would get in trouble, beatings and stuff, cool. But if I took like a coffee mug to school because my mom didn't qualify for free lunch or anything because she was making money, but she also didn't really provide me with anything to eat, I would have to steal money from her purse, which I did often. I stole money from my mother's purse to buy school lunch, or I would just bring oatmeal in the morning. And one day I brought oatmeal in it was one of the metal, one of the metal coffee things. What the heck? Why can't I think of it? But one of the metal things, and I brought that because I wanted my oatmeal to stay hot. So it was my mom's though. It was my mom's coffee mug or whatever you call it, right? So I remember coming home one day, I'm walking home, and I had butterflies. And I always had butterflies coming home because I didn't know what to expect, right? If I didn't do my chores and wash the dishes the right way, I'm getting yelled at, I'm getting beatings, I'm getting in trouble, right? This coffee mug, I will never forget. I walked home, my mom stands at the door. And she's standing at the door, and as I'm trying to open it, so we had a door with the glass, and then it had the oval. And I could see my mom in the oval, and as I'm trying to open the door, she's like, where my coffee mug at? I'm like, it's in my book bag, Mom, it's in my book bag. Didn't I tell you not to bring the coffee mug out? I'm like, yeah, but I snuck it anyway, right? But I'm like, yeah, and that's my fault. She's like, give me the coffee mug. So she opened the door, I give her the coffee mug, and then she shuts the door on me. And I was kicked out for a while, right? And my mom used to always kick me out. And then when I would try to find somewhere to go, or I'll sleep under a car, I slept outside during nights. I've slept under umbrellas. I've slept at friends' houses in their basements without their parents knowing. I've put myself in interesting situations. And the reason I'm saying this, one, I want you guys to know it's no victim mentality here, because it's a beautiful thing when I tell you the result, right? So as I'm getting kicked out, I think I'm starting to realize how much in control I have to be, right? Like how important it is to know how to survive. Because when you're kicked out, I'm not sure if you guys ever been kicked out, but when you're kicked out and you don't have nowhere to go, it's like a little switch that like flips on. And you're like trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to do? Like it's been times when neighbors are like, hey, like you wanna come in? And stuff like that. And you're embarrassed at first, but then you start to get used to it and you start to learn how to survive. And I tell this story not to say my mom was a bad mother, because she wasn't. My mother was trying to learn how to be a mother to a man that she could not control. And being kicked out and getting beatings, that had made me very angry, very arrogant, but it also made me very motivated. And I've heard so many times from my mother, hey, you're never going to graduate high school. You're too bad. And the reason she was saying that, it made sense, because instead of going to class, I was in the library printing and using all the paper, creating business plans for my electric car that I was going to build. Instead of going to Spanish, I was trying to recruit people at the lunch tables or to join Wake Up Now, a MLM company. And everything I'm saying is true, because if anybody has went to high school with me, you can contest. I was handing out business plans to people. My teachers would take my business plans. Would they read them? I don't know. But I was really just looking for somebody to actually give me feedback. And my mom put that spark in me, because I understood how much she didn't believe in me. Because if you believed in me, you would have never kicked me out. If you believed in me, you would have never told me I wouldn't be able to graduate high school because I choose to do something I like rather than do something I don't. I'll never forget, and this is the last thing that I think sparked a huge plug with me. My mom told me one day after school, because I got suspended because parents were calling the school saying, hey, it's this kid selling Wake Up Now to my child. My child gave him $100 to join. I didn't authorize this. I got suspended. I was really close to getting expelled, but it wasn't for fighting or anything. It was just more so me doing what I know I wanted to do. So she comes in my room and she says, you're never gonna graduate high school. That's straight up. You're never gonna graduate high school. Now, mind you, it could be her being frustrated, because how can somebody that never thought to be an entrepreneur themselves understand how somebody that chooses to be an entrepreneur feels, right? So if I choose to be an entrepreneur, I know in me how I feel and what my motivation is, but she can't understand that because we speak two different languages. So at this point, when she is telling me I'm never going to graduate, it hurt. And that's one of the reasons why I left my mother's house. Reason why me and my mom, we have an okay relationship, but not like one of the best, because I think she feels like I abandoned her. But the point of the matter is when people don't support you, the best thing you can do is get your space. Use that non-support as motivation, but don't let that non-support take away from you, right? Understand that whether it's your significant other, your mother, your brother, your cousin, your sister, whatever, your family sometimes will be the last people to ever support you. None of my family has ever come to any of my stores. None of my family none of my family has brought anything from me. I've given them things, but I will tell you, my family, other than my mom, like my uncles and my grandmother, my uncle and my grandmother have been really big support systems. And that's how it will be. You'll find somebody in your family or some people in your family that really believe in you. And even if they don't, they'll act like they do. And you can talk to them. You can bounce ideas off of them. But if you don't have that right now, and you're somebody that feels like you're so isolated because there's nobody around you that understands what you plan and what you got going, I want you to understand that it's okay. You will be fine. You have to use this as motivation, and also understand that if they don't believe in you, that's their right. They don't have to believe in you, but you have to understand that you don't need them to believe in you. That's not the fuel in your goals or your dreams or to your why, right? You need to know exactly why you're doing it Is it because you want to create generational wealth? Is it because you want to not have to live in survival mode every single day? Why are you literally waking up every day and doing something against the grain? Why? You have to know that, and it has to be something that is in you. Like, oh, I want to make sure I create generational wealth. I want to make sure that I don't have to wake up and be in survival mode. I want to make sure that I can afford whatever I want. Why? Once you understand your why, then you start to not depend on all of the external people pouring into you. You know, like, friends aren't going to support you because they don't take you serious. You know how many females that I've got because they're like, oh my God, you're a boss. Great. And then when I get them really close to me, I start to realize, like, yo, this isn't real. Like, you really don't bang with me. You just bang with the thought of me. You really like the fact that I'm a boss, but you don't really support me. So the best way to fight people that don't support you is not by trying to make them, but by honestly just creating that distance and using their non-support as, okay, cool, like, you just don't speak the same language, let me show you. You know, I told you everything that I told you guys today, not to say that my situation is worse than yours, because I don't think I had a bad situation growing up. I'm telling you this because I want you to know that everybody has a sad story. Everybody has a bad chapter. Everybody has a past. Everybody has something, but not everybody gets through it. Some people use it as an excuse. Some people use it as a motivational tactic, a motivational tool. Which one are you? So make sure you use it to motivate you, not to stop you or not to make excuses. I hope you guys have a great day. I love you like a fat kid love cake, and I'll see you guys at the top because it's too crowded at the bottom. Peace.